Hello again, and thank you for staying with us. It's been a week of celebrations and disappointments for South African sport fans, with Banyana Banyana returning home from a history-making campaign at the FIFA Women's World Cup and the Springboks leaving for the Rugby World Cup in France. We take a look at this week's top stories with our sports anchor, Kwena Moabelo. Kwena, good to have you on the program this afternoon. Now, I feel really muzzled, I must say, because you want us to speak all things sports without discussing the most recent, call it result, when it comes to the MTN8. But anyway, Asikola.
Good afternoon,
let's speak all things rugby. You know, for Rassie Erasmus, you remember the 2019 World Cup where our country emerged victorious. The Springboks this time around go in defending that particular title. And fast forward, you look at their performance then. There was this expectation really that what Rassie had created then would become a dynasty heading to 2023. But let's speak about the performance of the Springboks versus the expectations for this World Cup.
Well, I think one key thing to note is that there was, either way, there was going to be pressure as the defending champions, something that, it is hard to come by for any country, any nation to defend a World Cup, not in rugby only. So it's a hard thing to do. So the expectation for the Springboks is quite high. It's a question of how far can they go. But if you look at their performances, they've not really been convincing. But one can say that, remember after they won the World Cup, there was COVID-19, there was lockdown, there was not enough matches. So there was a lot that has happened between then and now. So I don't think they've had enough time, just to gel together. Even if you look at the team that was announced, there's a few players that, missed out due to injury. Lucanio Arm, I think, Andre Pollard, some of the key players who were missing. And I mean, Lucanio played a big role in the 2019 campaign. And also, Sia Kolisi, it was touch and go. Mapimpi, it was touch and go, And many are even saying that Sia just made it because he's the captain.
Right.
In terms of performance, it might not be really that he is there. But look, at the end of the day, we're going in there as defending champions, and we'll be looking at, just to try and make history again.
But when looking at the blend or the team that was announced, what do you make of the mix of players there? I mean, there was a lot of talk, like you say, about the exclusion of, for instance, Andre Pollard, as well as Lucanio Arm, who I believe makes up part of, call it, the backup team.
Yeah.
What are the dynamics behind that for those of our viewers who might not know how it works?
Look, I think those who missed out purely it's because of injury, so there's not really much in that. But one thing about the Springboks is there's a lot of depth, and I think that is key, that there's a lot of depth. We've got a lot of players that are able to slot in if one player is not available. In fact, the coach, Jacques Nina, by himself says he's happy with the balance in the squad ahead of the World Defense in France next month. Let's take a listen to the coach.
When I went in 2011 to my first World Cup, it shocked me because it's a completely different tournament to anything else. But 2019 was my second World Cup. It was a little bit better, and I knew what to expect. And obviously now you're going into with a good idea. So I think in terms of that, from a mental point of view, there's a couple of young guys. I think probably let's split it. A third are first World Cup. A third have now been at their second. Are going to their second one, and a third is going to their third one. So I think the guys who've been there before, from a mental point of view, will give a lot of guidance to the guys, the younger guys coming in, and obviously the negative to the older guys is getting availability and the injuries and stuff like that. And then the positive of the younger guys that you get this unbelievable energy and excitement, and guys going to a World Cup, So it kind of feeds nicely into the squad. I think the balance that we have.
But Kwena, are you convinced? I mean, what makes things different this time around? Is this a convincing team that will bring home the glory here?
Honestly, I'm a bit skeptical. But if there's one thing that I know about the Springbok team is that they know how to rise to the occasion. They know how to win matches. They have big match temperament. So those are the things. And I mean, we have also players that have been there, have done the job. And I mean, these are teams that we'll be playing against. These are people that we've beaten before convincingly. So it's not like we're going into uncharted territory. I mean, even the captain, Sia Kolisi, said to South African rugby fans that they are going to France to represent the nation, and we know that rugby has really brought unity to the country. So let's take a listen to the captain as the team left for France.
I just want to let you know that we have a beautiful, strong, diverse team behind me. We actually represent each one of you. I'm telling you for a fact that each person standing behind me represents one or many of you South Africans. So we carry your stories with us. Everything that we do, we want to make you proud. And how we say thank you, how we want to make you proud is the hard work that we put each and every single day. So we will put everything in our powers and we will work as hard as we can to defend the trophy because we know you expect the best from us. So we say thank you, and we will see you that side. If you're not there, please send videos, send words of encouragement, and whatever you're going through this side, we're thinking of you and we'll play as hard as we can to make your Saturdays lekkers and wear your jerseys on Fridays. Thank you.
From the box captain. But Kwena, let's shift gears a bit and speak about the return of the Banyana Banyana team back to South Africa. I mean, that particular arrival was met with some controversy, with members of the team being accused of snubbing members of the media. But very interesting, this is the same team that has also made history by qualifying for the last 16 of this World Cup.
Yeah, well, there's something was missing there, and I can't really put my finger on it because SAFA was saying, well, there's no such thing. We never told people that they should not speak to the media. Yeah. We never said anything. But then those within camp are saying this. I mean, Khotso Sello was there at the arrival, our own coach. And he was saying the same thing, that they were told that, no, you can't talk to players. But, I mean, subsequently other players were doing interviews at other platforms. So there was a little bit of disconnect. And some are saying that the girls were not happy, particularly with how South African media has been reporting about the World Cup, which for me is shocking because from my vantage point, a lot of people were behind the girls and their exploits. I mean, history-making, never got a point, never scored more than one goal, never made it through to the next round. So there's a lot that was worth achieving. But I think it says a lot more about the issues at SAFA. Because also with the team that has done so well, the first to go into a round of 16, coming in 3 batches, low-key return, it also says that there wasn't a lot of planning around it. Yeah.
But speaking about a team that also went to this World Cup not being very happy themselves. I mean, there were issues around bonuses as well for the Banyana Banyana team, and also seeing an intervention coming from the Motsepe Foundation, where it seemingly seems as though this particular team was also let down by the likes of SAFA, for instance.
Yeah, well, look, it's one of those things that, and I think the truth will eventually come out as to exactly what were the real issues behind the finances. Remember, FIFA did, even before the World Cup, came out and said they want to directly pay the monies into all the participants' accounts. Not necessarily Banyana only, but all. Because this is, England had the same problem. Spain had the same problem. Nigeria. There's a few other countries that have the same problem where the football associations would rather take the money and then give it to the players. And FIFA was saying, well, we would rather give it directly to the players themselves. So I think that's where the issues came in. And also as to whether they will get the 1.3 million that is due to them, as it were.
But what's your key takeaway, Kwena, especially looking at this particular team? Do they then inspire maybe a new wave when it comes to women's football here in South Africa?
Well, absolutely. And I think that should be the direction that South Africa takes from here. The Italy captain said the same thing and said she was shocked at the quality of football displayed by South Africa, considering that we don't necessarily have a professional women's league. And she even went on to say that if these girls have a professional league, they will definitely win the World Cup in the next few years. But also we'll move on to the Desiree Ellis, who summed up the progress of the team made this year at the FIFA World Cup, considering that they were there before and really came up only with 1 point.
Still made the intervention with her feet.
Okay. All right. We'll park that one there. Right. I thought we'll get to Desiree Ellis. But I think that is the key, that we need to professionalize women's football ASAP. We played against a Sweden that potentially can win this World Cup. We beat Italy, ranked way above us, Argentina. You know, so these are countries that are way steps ahead of us, and we really took them on.
Kwena, I am forced to kind of do this as well and squeeze in a quick comment around the MTN8 performances that we've seen so far. I mean, most recent winners are Kaizer Chiefs. Some surprised, you know, even their own supporters expressing how they were on edge, especially after Cape Town City went one up early in the game.
I have no idea what you're talking about because we will have the details of that story and more in our sports update in the next 15 or so minutes. But for Kaizer Chiefs fans, I guess something worth celebrating. Look, a Kaizer Chiefs that does well in the league is good for South African football, whether we're ready to have that conversation or not. So, and I guess maybe this could be it. Coach Mulifinsiki did say that this is a very important trophy for them to win. And here they are in the semi-finals already.
Here they are.
Your smile gets bigger and bigger every time we talk about that.
Kwena, thank you very much for your time. Many thanks to Kwena for breaking down this week's leading sports stories with us. It's been an interesting perspective on the intersection of sport, media, and the larger context, especially of women's football. Do stay tuned as we give you more insights and updates on the world of sports a bit later.